Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to... Oh my god, I did my intro completely wrong over here today. Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to Peter Likes Books. Because I do love books. I love books. Why didn't I call my channel Peter Loves Books? Because Peter Loves Books was already taken. So I called it Peter Likes Books instead. How are you guys doing today? Oh my god. So it is raining outside. It just started like raining. It was supposed to be pouring down later tonight. And so I wanted to do this booktube video today. Well, I've got a bunch of booktube videos that I want to do, but I want to do this video where I showed you guys all the things that I have ordered from Amazon the last, this is a huge book haul. Are you guys so excited? Oh my god, okay, the table is wobbling and everything. So this is a huge book haul, all right? And I am so excited about this and showing you guys, because I have some really, really fun books in here. I will tell you the majority of them are graphic novels, but I'm really excited about this. And I want to make sure that I do this without the table over here wobbling. So I'm going to put them over here on this table. But I've been kind of waiting until all the books came. I think I still have like 1 or 2 books that are still coming in the mail. I've like fallen in love with graphic novels in the last year. And so I will like... anything online that looks appealing to me, I will read it. It's so funny because I was having a conversation with my neighbor yesterday, my neighbor next door, and she's like in 3 book clubs. Because I was talking to her about my neighbor over there. She and I are thinking about starting a book club this summer, just for the summer at the pool. Because somebody recommended this, suggested this to me on my vlog, and they said, you should do a book club at your pool. But one of her friends, she said, does it where like everybody brings whatever book they're reading, and then they just talk about whatever book they're reading, and then you guys can share books and things like that. And I was like, oh my god, that's such a fantastic idea. Then we don't have to come up with a book to read. We can all just talk about whatever books we're reading in that moment. It can be like real casual in the pool, you know, we're drinking coffee or, you know, Diet Cokes or whatever. Just hang out and talk about books, and we can like, if somebody loves a book, be like, oh, I can lend it to you when I'm done. I thought it was such a great idea. So I was telling my neighbor about it, and I was like, well, you can be part of this group too. She's like, I just joined my 3rd book club. And I was like, oh, and she's like, yeah, it's through my church. And she goes to this like really cool, very liberal church. And so she was like, actually, she was like, let me show you the book that we're reading right now, because it's a graphic novel. And she was like, I think you might like it. And so she went inside and got this book. And I had never, and it's so funny because most graphic novels I have heard of. And so the graphic novel, I believe, was called Gender Queer, and it's a memoir of somebody's journey through, you know, gender identity and things like that. And she said she loves it. She said it's fantastic, and it's a lot about pronouns and things like that. And so she was like, well, I can loan it to you when I'm done. I was like, okay, I would love that. So I'm really, really into graphic novels. A lot of people call them comics. For people out there that don't know what graphic novels, I think people that like are in the business of graphic novels take it very, very seriously. But yes, graphic novels, like, kind of at their core are kind of like comic strips that, like, you know, in the magazines, but now they're turned into books. And there's like the DC Marvel comics, and there's the whole other, you know, superhero comics. And then like Walking Dead, there's like a whole series of graphic novels that are all just about the Walking Dead. And then recently, what they've started doing, I'd say like in the last 10 years, is they've started taking like major classics, like I have To Kill a Mockingbird, Anne of Green Gables, what other ones do I have? A couple of them where they've turned them into The Diary of Anne Frank, where they've turned them into hardback, beautifully illustrated. So they're like told through illustration is what a graphic novel is. And then they're all like illustrated, beautiful books, right? And I have just fallen in love with graphic novels. I read like all the Alice Oseman Heartstopper novels, all the extras. And so when I was like binge reading those, I started looking online, and I would be like any like graphic novels for adults, LGBTQIA plus graphic novels. I'll read like anything. And if these books had existed when I was like in junior high or high school, like today, I would have been like, I mean, if I had had that back then, what we have today, I mean, I would have felt so seen and not so all alone. And just the fact that we don't, not that we just have one book. I can remember, you know, trying to find myself in books in bookstores and being so scared to go to like the gay and lesbian fiction section, which the gay men's fiction section was like 4 books, and like Maurice, that book Maurice, and it was like stuck between, you know, like the gay book of Kama Sutra or Kama Sutra of gay sex, and then like, you know, I was like so scared to stand in that section. It made me even feel worse about myself. If we had had this kind of representation when I was growing up, I would have felt so seen. It would have meant so much to me. So let me go through here and kind of, I'm just going to go through book by book and show you what I got. Okay, where are my reading glasses? Oh, please tell me. Oh, thank God, because I was like, a lot of these books, I just like, if they're recommended to me through somebody, or like if I'm like, I bought something and underneath there, it'll have it recommended, I'll buy it. So this was recommended to me because I read this other book called The Princess and the Fashion Designer, or The Princess and the Dressmaker, or something. And this is called The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich, or The Grilled Cheese Sandwich. And I don't know anything about this. It says, and this is by Dea Munez. Okay, and you can see like when you open it, it's all like, all told through illustrations, like a comic. Okay, but they're a little bit more in-depth sometimes in comics. I don't know, I don't read a lot of comics. Lady Camembert wants to, like the cheese, wants to live life on her own terms without marriage. Well, without marrying a man, that is. But the law of the land is that family fortunes cannot be passed down to women. So when her father passes away, she does the only thing she can. She disguises herself as a man and moves to the capital city in the kingdom of fromage. This is so funny, all around cheese. To start over as Count Camembert. But it's hard to keep a low profile when the beautiful Princess Brie, all the cheeses, with her fierce activism and great sense of fashion catches Cam's attention. Cam can't resist getting to know the princess, but as the two grow closer, will she be able to keep her secret? Readers will devour this romantic comedy about mistaken identity, true love, and lots of grilled cheese. I love this so much. I'm so excited about it. Okay. Did you guys hear the rain just hit? I can feel it on my feet. Okay. The next one I got was recommended to me because, well, I'll go ahead and talk about this first. So, I was recommended this to me. This was recommended to me because I read the Heartstopper novels, and it's called Check Please. And Check Please is written by Ngozi Ukazu. I think is how you pronounce her name. And she's written a book, and then she wrote this series of graphic novels called Check Please. Oh my God, it is really coming down. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. And there's like, I think 3 in this series. And it's about a guy that goes to a Ivy League school like Harvard or Yale. And he's a figure skater, but he plays hockey on the hockey team there. And it's about him coming out to his friends on the hockey team. This is definitely not for kids, I will tell you that right now. You can see the whole thing is done in graphic novels. There's no like gratuitous sex or anything like that, but the language is pretty hardcore in this book. And I'm now thinking like maybe I should go inside. Should I keep on pushing it? Should I keep on pushing it through the rain? Push it through the rain. Okay, and then he like vlogs through the whole thing. So he's like a vlogger on YouTube as well, like telling a story of like being in college and being on the hockey team and things like that. I know some of you are going to be like, I love the sound of this rain. Well, come over to my vlog because I'll be vlogging right here in the rain today. It is, guys, look, it is pouring down rain. Back to the book haul. And now back to the book haul. Okay, I love this one so much. And so I bought the second one in the series. I will tell you, the only thing I didn't love about it is at the very back, there's like pages and pages and pages of his tweets. And you have to kind of read them because it references back to things that happens in the book. And so I was going to skip over it, but I was like, I want to know what's in his tweet because he tweets out everything that happens. And so I went back and I read them and it was good. Okay, so I got the second one. What is this? This is like a tsunami. The second one came today. Let's start reading it tonight. And this is Check Please. And this is called Sticks and Scones. Oh, because he loves to bake. So he bakes pies and all this kind of stuff in the first one. The first one is called Book 1, Hockey. The second one is called Check Please, Sticks and Scones. And, yeah. And it doesn't have all the tweets. Oh no, it has all the tweets in the back. But they're so fantastic, and the chapters are really short, and I just love these books so much. Check Please, I would highly recommend. So since I ordered these, my table is getting soaking wet. I'm going to have to put these books over here so they don't get wet. I was recommended, and like a lot of these I don't know anything about. Like these are getting soaked. A lot of these I don't know anything about. This is called Chef's Kiss. I need more lighting out here. Okay. And oh my God, these books are getting wet. Oh my God, okay. Okay, I had to move inside because it was torrential downpours and my books were getting soaked, my camera was getting soaked, so I had to move inside. Okay, so let me show you guys, in case you couldn't see the covers outside. This is The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich. Right here, here's the cover to it. And then here is the first Check Please book. And here is the second Check Please book. And I would highly, highly recommend these if you like graphic novels. I love these so much. Okay, God, these books are so damp already. And then the next one that I was getting to is Chef's Kiss. So where are my reading glasses? Oh, my reading glasses are in the other room. Okay, so did I leave them outside? Oh my God, did I leave my glasses outside? Well, they'll be fine. Okay, so Chef's Kiss. This was recommended to me because of the Check Please books that I was reading. Chef's Kiss, now I can't even read these. Okay, it says, English graduate Ben Cook is on the job hunt looking for, I can hardly read these, looking for something, anything related to his passion for reading and writing. According to the hiring committee, he doesn't have enough experience, but when he stumbles upon a now hiring, no experience necessary sign outside a restaurant, Ben jumps at the chance to land his first job. He's actually not so bad in the kitchen. Plus, he can keep looking for a writing job in the meantime. But when he begins developing a crush on Liam, one of the super dreamy chefs at the restaurant, he'll start to feel torn between wanting to stay and cook and following his original post-college plan to be a writer. That was such a good reading of the synopsis, wasn't it? Okay. Now, I will say, sometimes you can tell kind of like by the quality of the illustrations. I will say the illustrations of this lean a little bit towards, this is gonna really age me, but my grandma used to love this cartoon back in the day that was in the newspaper called like Apartment 3B. I would say that the cartoons lean a little bit towards Apartment 3B in this, which means this will probably be a little bit cheesy. Okay, so we might wait on that one a little bit to read that one. The next one was highly, highly recommended to me. I actually started this last night, but I didn't get very far into it. It's hardback, and it's called North Ranger, and it is by Ray Tercerio and Bray Indigo. And this is like on like all of the best read graphic novels list right now. And Bloom is another one that I read and I love it. I'm like, I have to tell you, so I'm like going through the basement, I went through the bookshelves and I like got rid of so many books and I'm donating and things like that. I can't get rid of any of my graphic novels. Like I don't care how bad they are. I've like kept all my graphic novels. So I have a collection of like all my graphic novels. I'm very, very excited about it. So this is North Ranger. Okay, and it says in here, Cade Munoz has always loved to escape into the world of a good horror movie. After all, horror movies are scary, but to Cade, a closeted queer teen growing up in rural Texas, real life can be way scarier. When Cade is sent to spend the summer working as a ranch hand to help earn extra money for his family, he is horrified. Cade hates everything about the ranch, from the early mornings to the mountains of horse poop he has to clean up. The only silver lining is the company of the two teens who live there, in particular the ruggedly handsome and enigmatic Henry. But as unexpected sparks begin to fly between Cade and Henry, things get complicated. Henry is reluctant to share the mysterious details of several local deaths, and Cade begins to wonder what else he may be hiding. Inspired by the gothic romance of Jane Austen's North Ranger, it's called North Ranger. North Ranger Abbey comes a modern love story so romantic it's scary. Okay. Oh, and it has like illustrations of the people in the back. So I'm real excited about this hardback. I love a good hardback graphic novel. Now, the next book that I have is not a graphic novel. They're not all graphic novels, and this was recommended to me by somebody. Somebody DM'd me and said that they thought I would like this, and it's called Hate That I Love You, and it is by Wally Roxanne. I know nothing about this. Aesthetic, addicted, and morally twisted college kids with nothing but time to waste and money to spend. What could possibly go wrong? And somebody said that this reminded them of Bret Easton Ellis's Lesson Zero. And I loved back in the day Bret Easton Ellis, yeah, that wrote Lesson Zero and a lot of other like books of that kind. They made it into a movie, if you guys remember that. So anyway, somebody told me that this was comparable to that. So I got it as a pool read this summer. Okay, then the next graphic novel, I'm very, very excited to add this to my list of like classic books. It's not necessarily a classic, but like something that's really well known. Turned into a graphic novel, and that is Speak by Lori, I think it's by Lori Halse Anderson, yeah. Speak by Lori Halse Anderson, and the illustrations in here, you guys, are absolutely beautiful. They actually remind me a little bit of the Fangirl manga, which I'm also reading right now. I'm on the 3rd book of the Fangirl manga. The illustrations in here are absolutely beautiful. If you don't know about this book, it says, the critically acclaimed award-winning modern classic Speak is now a stunning graphic novel. Speak up for yourself. We want to know what you have to say. From the first moment of her freshman year at Meriwether High, Melinda knows this is a big fat lie. Part of the nonsense of high school. She is friendless and outcast because of something that happened over the summer. Now nobody will talk to her, let alone listen. So what's the point of talking? Through her work on an art project, Melinda is finally able to, it's about drawing a tree, I think, able to face what really happened that night. But before she can make peace with the ghosts of the past, she has to confront the reality of the present and stop someone who still wishes to do her harm. Only words can save her. She can't stay silent, not anymore. With powerful illustrations by Eisner Award-winning artist Emily Carroll, Speak, the graphic novel, comes alive for new audiences and fans of the original. I read this book years and years and years ago. I really don't remember a lot of it. I remember it's something about, like, they're at a party and she calls the police on somebody, but I've also read the synopsis about that recently, so yeah, so anyway, very excited about reading this book. I do remember that this is like trigger warning times 100, this book, so for anybody out there. Okay, and then the next book that I got was called, well, let me show you this one first, hold on. So, I am a huge fan of Lynda Barry. Lynda Barry is probably, for me, where my love of graphic novels starts. And I think I'm going to do a, like, showing my whole Lynda Barry collection, because I have, like, literally almost everything that she's written, including her novel, Cruddy, which is one of my favorite books of life. Lynda Barry is a cartoonist. I don't know that she would refer to herself as a novelist or graphic novelist. She's a cartoonist. And she became famous for writing cartoons that were in, like, smaller newspapers. Like in Indianapolis, we had this magazine that was kind of like, it would show a lot of like bands that were playing in bars and interview kind of like artsy people in Indianapolis, and it was called The Nouveau. And Lynda Barry's cartoons were in the back of The Nouveau before it got, like, you know, The Nouveau no longer exists. She actually went to Evergreen College, and she went there with Matt Groening, who's one of her dear friends, who I believe is Matt Groening of the start of The Simpsons. And she's, like, really good friends and very, like, well-respected within, like, the art world and the comic world and things like that. So whenever I see one of her books come up that I don't have, I immediately buy. I actually bought 2 of her bigger books like this last year, and I still haven't gotten to them. Her favorite set of books that she wrote is about the down the street kids, and it's all circled around these 2 sisters, and their names are Marlis and May Monn, and it takes place, like, in the middle of the 70s. And their dad is no longer in their picture, and their mom is, like, a heavy drinker, heavy smoker, and they, like, are always with their, like, aunts and cousins and things like that. And it's very real, but very comical at the same time. And May Monn is, like, probably 15 or 16, and Marlis, her little sister, is probably, like, 8 or 9 or 10, and is constantly driving her crazy. And May Monn has this very cynical attitude towards the world of, like, she's a loser, she's never going to find a boyfriend, nobody likes her. And Marlis is always like, everything's so magic. In fact, one of her books is called It's So Magic. And I just love it so much, and it's very cozy to me to read them. It kind of reminds me of growing up a little bit. So my friend and I, we found them way back in the day, and we started reading them. I have the entire collection. I'm so proud of it. It's hard to get them these days. And so I found this book online on Amazon. It's called Everything by Lynda Barry. Blabber, blabber, blabber. And I believe that this is like her original cartoons. You can see it actually has pictures of her when she was growing up in here. It's done like a scrapbook. You can see she's got like pictures of cards and stuff. The whole thing is done like a scrapbook. It's beautiful. So anyway, I'm very, very excited about this. And on the back it says, from the very first comic she published in the Evergreen State College paper to the best-selling creative how-to memoir comic books, what it is, and picture this, Lynda Barry has been an integral part of the North American alternative comic scene for 30 years. Her weekly comic strip, Ernie Pook's Comic, influenced countless cartoonists, and her novels, graphic memoirs, plays, and awards have all shaped a literary career astonishing in its breadth. Blabber, Blabber, Blabber collects the first iterations of the seminal comic, some of which has been out of print for decades, includes her earliest book, Girls and Boys, and features an introduction penned by Barry, complete with photographs. Reflective of the early 1980s, before the appearance of Barry's well-known characters Marlis and Arna, the comics in Blabber 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 cover the more adult subjects of bad love, bad perms, being single, Prince, and miserable breakups, resulting in one of the most oft-quoted Barry sayings, "Love is an exploding cigar that we willingly smoke." So I'm very, very excited about this to add to my collection. I have the entire collection of Lynda Barry. So when I was looking through that, I wanted to find other artists like Lynda Barry. I don't know if you can see it, but right up there I have 3 books that are like in a row down, and they're the Unlovable series by Esther Pearl Watson, and they're about a girl named Tammy, and they're very similar to Mabon and Marlis of the Down the Street Kids, and I love those so much, and she hasn't put anything else out. So I was looking for other books that were similar to that, and I found this this artist named Aline Kaminsky-Crumb, and apparently she has done a lot, and I think her partner has done a lot too, and this is called Love That Bunch: Food, Sex, Death, Pain, Romance, and Joy. And this is another graphic novel, and you can see it has like, these were previously printed other places, like this is The Young Bunch, an unromantic, non-adventure story. These are the formative years, it goes on to say. It's talking about perms. These are very, very similar to the Lynda Barry cartoons as well. And I think this is her whole collection of her beginning things on here. Let me see. The feminist artist whose crass comics were way ahead of their time, the Huffington Post. Not only does Kaminsky-Crumb emphasize her youthful indiscretions and insecurities, but she clearly distinguishes the past selves depicted on the page from the current self, the author, and the reader who is consuming the material at an altogether different time. I mean, I just heard fantastic, here she is right here. I've heard fantastic things about this book, and I'm so excited to read it and just get into it. And these are also like books where you can like, oh, here it is. There's a whole foreword in here written by her. You can, by Hilary Shute. You can read like a couple of them at a time, or you can read the whole thing, and I love these so much, and you really just kind of like fall in love with the characters. Tammy from Unlovable, I definitely fell in love with so much. So, those are all the books that I bought for my book haul. I got a couple more coming, but I am so excited about sitting outside and reading. Maybe not so much in the rain. I will tell you that thing that I bought, have I not shown that? I think I showed it in a Peter Does Stuff video, but I bought this thing that you put around your neck. It's like a light. It works so well, and I bought like the $10.99 version of it on Amazon, and it's fantastic. It has 3 light settings. There's like one that goes out like this way, one that goes down, and like a dimmer one. And I was sitting there in the chair last night, and I finished, check please, I finished all the tweets reading that last night. So if you guys are looking for one of those lights, I would highly recommend those neck lights. You can get them online on Amazon for like $10.99. But anyway, here's to a summer of reading. We had our first true crime book club yesterday on Facebook. It went very, very well. We're going to keep it on Facebook. The next one is May 19th. It's a Sunday at 4 p.m. Exciting things to come. So let me know what new books you guys are reading. I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.